Chaos continues to swirl around Conor McGregor's long-awaited return to the octagon. According to the New York Post, McGregor's team was pushing for his fight against Max Holloway to be set as a 3-round bout, despite it being slated as a main event. On top of that, the bout was reportedly being targeted at welterweight, again at the request of Conor's camp. But now there's yet another twist. The same outlet is claiming McGregor was actually pushing for a 3-round format against Michael Chandler, not Holloway. At this point, there's still no clear answer on whether McGregor wants 3 rounds or 5, or who his actual opponent will be when he finally makes his return this summer. What does seem more certain is that the comeback won't happen at lightweight, which is now Max Holloway's natural home. That alone completely shifts the pool of possible matchups and raises a big question: what version of Conor McGregor are we actually going to see when he steps back through those cage doors? Shifting over to the lightweight division, Joe Rogan recently gave his thoughts on the upcoming showdown between Ilia Topuria and Justin Gaethje, and he zeroed in on the size difference between the two fighters.
But when you see him and Justin next to each other, you're like, whoa, Justin is quite a bit bigger.
Just a big cat.
He's quite a bit bigger.
That's a tough fight.
It's a different fight than Oliveira. It's different. But fuck, then you see what Oliveira was able to do to Max. You're like, good Lord. Like, Oliveira's a beast,
he
man.
Phenomenal.
And he couldn't do none of that to Ilia. And already one of the greatest of all time. Yeah, he's so smart and so disciplined and so like completely focused and
good
dialed in. Great at everything. Great at everything. And the crazy thing is, didn't even start as a striker.
Crazy.
Started as a grappler.
Crazy. Now, his toughest matchup is Arman Tsarukyan.
100%. He's the compelling matchup for Ilia if Ilia gets past Justin. If Justin beats Ilia, it is not only one of the greatest upsets of all time, it is one of the greatest caps to a career of all time.
Arnold Allen is heading into his fight with Costa tonight. With a serious chip on his shoulder, he's openly admitted he's going in frustrated, and he wants to remind the entire featherweight division exactly who he is. A big part of that frustration is his loss to Movsar Evloev. Allen still firmly believes he won that fight, and the fact that Evloev is now being talked about as the top contender for Alexander Volkanovski's featherweight title after his recent win over Lerone Murphy makes that loss sting even more. Meanwhile, Volkanovski continues to prove he's the most dominant force at featherweight. Alongside Joshua Van, he's one of the only active champions in the UFC with a title defense on the current schedule, and he's also the longest reigning champion in the promotion right now, having held the belt for 396 days. All right, let's hear what Allen has to say.
If there was a fight genie that came down and granted you a wish and said, hey, you can only get one of these back, which one would you try to get back first? Which one left the worst taste in your mouth?
Movsar, because not for him personally or anything. I felt like that one I really won. Like, I really won that one, you know? So that's the one.
Why does that one stick out so much, though? I mean, there are a lot of close ones. Max is obviously a big name, and, you know, if you listen to the rumors, he's in for a pretty big fight, but potentially, allegedly. So why is the Movsar claw at you more than the others?
Just a couple of things. I felt the decision should have been mine. The situation with the knees, that really stings because it just feels like it was kind of taken away from me. I know it was the rule thing and all that, but like, no, it wasn't illegal. It's like it got played twice, you know, so it just hurts.
Even before the first fight went down at tonight's Netflix MMA event, headlined by Ronda Rousey versus Gina Carano, there was already drama brewing backstage. Nate Diaz, who's set to face Mike Perry on the card, was caught up in a tense confrontation with the Khabib camp just hours before the show. Umar Nurmagomedov opened up about the incident in an interview with Russian channel Ushataika. According to Umar, Diaz initially walked straight past him, Khabib and Islam Makhachev, without saying a word. But once Diaz had some distance and security around him, he allegedly turned around and started pointing and shouting in their direction. Despite the tension rising, the Khabib camp reportedly stayed calm and didn't engage. Umar explained they've been through similar situations with Diaz before and simply had no interest in reacting. Staff quickly stepped in, and the situation never turned physical. The backstage incident only adds more attention to what's already a massive crossover fight card. With Diaz facing Perry on a Netflix platform in front of a whole new audience, every bit of drama leading into it just keeps turning up the heat.
When he walked past me, Khabib, and Islam, he didn't do anything. If he really wanted to throw a punch at me or anyone else, he had the chance right there, just one step away. Instead, he walked off and started pointing fingers and throwing things from a distance. He was the one who initiated it, but honestly, we don't care about him at all. We already dealt with him years ago when we met. That was a long time ago and we smacked him.
As for Umar himself, he doesn't have a confirmed next opponent yet, but he's targeting a return to the octagon this summer. He last competed at UFC 324 in January, picking up a unanimous decision win over Figueiredo, and he's looking for a high-profile matchup that puts him right back in the bantamweight title conversation. Colby Covington has been making waves after his dominant performance in RAF wrestling, calling out a number of big names including Khamzat Chimaev, Arman Tsarukyan, and Kamaru Usman himself. Now, Usman has responded, and he's actually open to it. Usman said he'd love to see it happen and believes it would be an entertaining matchup on the wrestling mat. The problem? The UFC currently has a rule that bars active roster fighters from competing against each other in outside combat sports events. Usman flagged that rule as the main obstacle standing in the way. Colby has already said he plans to sit down with the UFC and push for either an exception to that rule or a change to it altogether, so fans can eventually see elite wrestling matchups between current UFC fighters. Let's roll the clip.
The rule from the UFC is that they can't wrestle against an active fighter, I believe is what I'm hearing. So, and that's gonna be kind of tough to get what the people want, which is myself potentially versus Covington. So I don't know if that's I believe what they're saying, the rule is two active fighters can't wrestle one another, which I don't know. Has there been two fighters that have wrestled one another, Henry? I like them to keep doing it that way. It was phenomenal. Great card from RAF. I need to go back and watch the whole thing. But man, RAF does it again. You're setting the stage here to where Olympic champions, world champions from other countries, other nations now are looking, wow, there's something new for us. There's somewhere we can go. You're seeing that now.
That's it from MMA Time. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe for daily MMA updates.